Hey Leute, willkommen zurück zu Danganronpa und wir machen jetzt weiter, wo wir jetzt beim letzten Mal weitergemacht haben. Wann war das nur? War das... Ja, ich glaube es war hier. Ich habe verdammt weirde Save-Files aufgestellt. Okay, ja, ich hab's richtig, okay. Wir müssen jetzt herausfinden, was hier los ist. Warte mal, ich gebe... I mean, I have to figure it out for myself? Ja. Was kann man denn alles interagieren? Also vielleicht mal das hier. With metal blocking again, it seems like some kind of machine. A surveillance camera, and here's what I only assume is a gun attached to it. It's so chilling. The mailbox here. Could there be something inside? Ach so! It's an e-handbook. No, wait. There's 3 of them, but what are they doing here? So you finally found them. Did you know these were here, Byakuya? I happened to find them by chance myself the other day. It seems there's a system in place where the handbooks of dead students get delivered to this mailbox. Ah, also die E-Handbooks der Toten werden dorthin gebracht. So then, these 3 handbooks belong to Shunko, Leon, and Sayaka? You can go ahead and confirm it yourself. I immediately turned on one of the handbooks, and when I did... You're right, this is Sayaka's handbook. Now do you understand? This is the key to the loophole that I revealed earlier. Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to get it. You should pay closer attention to the regulations. The answer has been in front of you in the entire time. Loaning your handbook to another student is strictly prohibited. Only the act of loaning a handbook is prohibited. Borrowing someone else's is perfectly fine. Das heißt, eins von den Toten darf man einfach nehmen. I see, yeah, now I understand. Main hall e-handbooks has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook.
What?
Hold on a second. What's
Very
wrong?
strange.
That's strange. One of the handbooks won't turn on. Is it broken? Whose is it? The other handbook showed Shunko's name when I started it up. Then the one that won't turn on must be Leon's, right?
I see.
It would make sense, yes. After all, he did get pummeled with dozens and dozens of baseballs. Pummeled with baseballs. The memory of it came flooding back. That cruel punishment which led to Leon's death. The execution that the mastermind concoct. A cruel, heartless death. You're right, it wouldn't be surprising for the handbook to break during that kind of assault.
Damn it!
Hey!
Making me angry! Now I'm really angry!
What? That e-handbook is essential to students' life here. Crucial, integral, instrumental, a super big deal. There's no way it would break that easily. But it did.
It's impossible!
If I say it wouldn't break, it wouldn't frickin' break. It can withstand up to 10 tons of pressure, and it's waterproof up to 100 meters, okay? I don't care how many baseballs you hit it with. It wouldn't do crap. Oh, but even my amazing handbook does have one single weak spot. It does?
I can't hear you!
But it's a secret. I wouldn't want you to go I wouldn't want you to go breaking any more handbooks.
What?
Then Leon must have broken it somehow without realizing what its weakness was, right? Hard to say. You know what I think? I think this handbook isn't actually broken. But you might ask, how could that be? Leaving the question hanging in the air, Monokuma disappeared. What just happened? Monokuma said it's not broken, but it's an undeniable fact that it's not turning on.
That's fine.
Well, I don't see any connection to the case, so it doesn't matter for now. You think so? Either way, something about it still bothers me. Okay then, this should be enough to get things rolling. Let's begin our investigation in earnest and track down a true culprit. Yeah, we need to find out who killed Chihiro. To be exact, not quite. Not quite? What do you mean by that, Byakuya? To be exact, not quite. Certainly, I want to reveal Chihiro's killer, but more precisely, I want to discover the true identity of Genocide Jack. Then you really think? You truly believe Genocide Jack is the one that killed Chihiro?
Don't make me repeat myself.
Absolutely. I have no doubt that Genocide Jack is the culprit in this case. The murderous fiend is Genocide Jack, right? There's nobody else it could be. A murderous fiend who kills again and again using a bizarre and brutal method. They're like a ghost, attacking suddenly then slipping away before the police can catch up to them. And what nickname did the internet give to this mysterious serial killer? Genocide Jack. They say he's killed thousands of people, but that's gotta be an urban legend. Still, could one of us really be a demented, psychotic killer like that? You're not wrong to wonder. But words mean little right now. I have something that will prove it, and I can show you. What do you mean by that, Byakuya, to be exact? Oh, 9.
Don't make me.
Oh, warte, Basis. Das ist noch was anderes.
Don't make me repeat myself.
And I have a basis to believe that. I assure you, Genocide Jack is one of us. Is there really proof? There's somewhere I'd like to take you. This will provide all the evidence you need.
It's all clear now.
Evidence that Genocide Jack is the one that killed Chihiro. Evidence? There's something like that, really? Hey, you two. Oh, es war sie. Big trouble. Need your help.
I don't have time to play with you.
We're busy. Leave us alone.
I mean...
But it's an emergency. Come on, please. You gotta help me.
Please!
This is a serious emergency. Please, you gotta help me. Just calm down, okay?
I mean...
But it's an emergency. An emergency? What happened?
Well...
Something's wrong with Toko. She's acting super strange. Well, I mean, she was acting pretty strange earlier, right? What should we do, Byakuya?
Very strange.
Since it's Toko, I must admit, I'm intrigued. I suppose we can take a second to see what's going on with her. Are you sure?
Don't make me repeat myself.
I didn't expect that. I thought for sure he'd just say no, and that'd be the end of it.
Yeah!
Okay, come on, hurry. Wait for us, Hina.
Let's go.
It looks like she headed to the dorms, to Toko's room, most likely. You're right.
Such ignorance.
You're talking to the wrong person, you waste of space. Is Toko inside? Some kind of emergency? Oh. You guys are too slow. I think you're just too fast. So what's this emergency?
So,
Well, after what happened in the girls' locker room, we left Toko in her room so she could lay down. After a while, we came back to check on her, you know, see how she was doing, but when we did, it was weird. She refused to come out and she kept saying all this weird stuff. Weird stuff?
That's fine.
We should try talking to her ourselves. Yeah, good idea. I may as well give it a shot. The door swung open slowly and silently. Holy crap! An aura of negativity flowed out from behind the door, forcing a gasp out of me.
Oh, nothing. It's just that Hina was really worried about you, holding yourself up in your room.
leave me alone.
Yeah, sure thing. But could you open up just for a second?
Won't allow it.
Huh?
I won't let Genocide Jack have control.
Yes. And just like that, she slammed the door in my face. Oh What was that? She's been acting like that the whole time when I rang a little while ago. I'll drive out the killer, drive out the murderous fiend. It doesn't make any sense, right? I was afraid to leave her in there alone, so I tried to bust down her door. But it felt like something was holding it shut on the other side. I couldn't even budge it. Toko was scared enough to even bar her door. Does she think the same thing as Byakuya? Does she think that the serial killer Genocide Jack really murdered Chihiro? Is that why Toko's so scared? Whatever it is, I'm really worried about her. Isn't there anyone who might be able to persuade her? Ich kenne da jemanden. Hey Byakuya, you think you could ask her? To come out of her room, I mean?
That's fine.
Sure, whatever. You're gonna talk to her, Byakuya? Wow, I guess you can be nice when you want to. Byakuya stood in front of her door, not making a sound, and pressed the doorbell. After a few moments,
What do you want?
leave me alone, you're all so annoying. Bakula. Nee, Byakuya.
It's Byakuya.
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again. And with that, the door slammed shut. Even Byakuya couldn't pull it off. There's nothing else we can do. Let's get back to the investigation. Hold on. Hey Byakuya, what was Toko talking about just now? Something about a promise.
What?
Oh, I have no idea. Another one of her delusions, I'm sure. But
Stop talking.
if I say I don't know, that means I don't know. Just let Hina take care of her. Oh yeah, okay. I'll stay here and keep an eye on her.
Let's go.
Well then, let's go. Without waiting for a reply, Byakuya sped away. Byakuya! And I hurried to catch up. I tried to talk to him several times as we walked, but he didn't even look back, let alone say anything. He just kept on walking towards his destination. Finally, his feet brought him to a stop in front of a certain room. Die Bücherei? Yeah, okay. The library? Come on, let's go in. Is the evidence that proves it was Genocide Jack really in the library?
Don't make me repeat myself.
Scheiße, ja, was weiß ich? Irgendein Buch vielleicht über ihn? There are no clues there. We need to check elsewhere. Ich dachte, vielleicht ist es ein Buch. Upon checking there, we need to find real clues. On the other side of this door is the archive, right? Hurry up and go inside. Oh, here?
Let's go.
It'll all make sense once you're inside. Achso, ich dachte, da geht's aus der Tür raus. Ja, stimmt, ist ja das gleiche. What? Whoa. There's so many books and files. And so much dust, too.
So, in other words,
I would say there's enough value in this place to endure the dust. Just a ton of thick files stuffed onto the bookshelf. If you're thinking of looking through any of them, let me give you a little warning. Those things are filled with graphic, disturbing photos from all kinds of crime scenes. It's the kind of thing any normal person wouldn't ever want to look at. Be careful. What do you mean? All those files, there are investigation reports related to different cold cases. Those are internal documents for police eyes only. They're not the kind of things you'd expect to leak. Oh. If you pay attention to your surroundings, you're sure to discover the value for yourself. There's so many files.
that's enough.
Those documents are dangerous. Dangerous? They detail all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous truth for a commoner. You mean like members of the Diet or something? No, I meant the ones with real power. The secret council controlling everything from the shadows. If you're ready to be if you're ready to be disappeared for it, take a look. There are some very interesting people in there. You're just kidding, right? Am I? I'll just let it go for now. The desk lamp. Oh, stimmt. Oh yeah, it's the same one I saw Byakuya using in the library before.
What?
Do you have any problem with that lamp? Well, see before, then I moved it over there. It's too dark over there, so I thought I put it to good use. The shelf is stuffed high with files. Without really thinking about it, I picked one at random. Ah, you have a sharp eye indeed to select that file.
That's right.
That's a report on a presidential assassination. The originals kept at the National Library. It won't be declassified for another 30 years. Are you sure you want to look at it now? There's no telling which crosshairs you might wind up in for peeking at it. Without making a sound, I returned the file to the shelf. There's a wooden box. It's empty. Although, judging by the smudges in the dust, it looks like there was something inside. I wonder what it was. There was an extension cord plugged in there. It proved very useful while I was in the library. An extension cord, huh? So you're finally beginning to understand the true splendor of this library. The entire reason I was interested in the library is because of this room right here.
Interesting.
It's home to classified government documents, police records, things no ordinary person would ever see. Isn't it magnificent? This can't be for real, right?
Such ignorance.
That's your guy's problem. Anything that doesn't fit into your preconceived reality, you label it a lie. Well, it's not that. It's not like I totally refuse to believe it, but I mean, there's just so much. How could anyone have put all this together? I suppose it goes to show just how much Hope's Peak truly wills, or perhaps the mastermind may have wanted to provide us with enough entertainment to keep us from getting bored. It's no use. I can't keep up with all this. It's just too unreal. What's wrong? You still can't believe it? What about you? How can you believe it so easily? Things like that are usually impossible. What do you mean by usually? Usual, normal, ordinary, simple? Those things don't exist anywhere in the real world. If you don't understand what they actually represent, you don't understand the nature of anything. You don't pull your punches, do you? Besides, what you consider usual is based on your common sense, right? What makes you think your own common sense applies to me at all? The documents gathered here are genuine. I have reviewed them multiple times, so there's no doubt. Hold on a second, you're saying you've read all these documents and more than once? But all this has to be like top secret confidential stuff, right? So, why? My family has a reading room, just like this at our home. Ours is bigger, of course, and not as dusty. The members of the Togami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. That includes foreign powers as well as domestic. How is that possible?
So, in other words...
I already told you there's a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council, and I have within me the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. But to become such a ruler, I must know all levels of this world backwards and forwards. So whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me. Which is why I can proclaim without a doubt that the materials gathered here are the real thing. This is beyond believing or not believing. Byakuya is actually starting to scare me more than the actual mastermind. And what always interested me the most were the cold case police investigation reports. Reading through those reports has always been a hobby of mine, ever since I was little. It's excellent mental exercise. I've solved more than a few of those cases just by reviewing the reports. And among all those reports, one of my recent favorites is the Genocide Shack case. As he talked, Byakuya grabbed a specific file from the shelf.
That's right.
This is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding the Genocide Shack cases has been complied in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin, there are two notable characteristics in every Genocide Jack murder. The first characteristic is that at every crime scene the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. And the second is that when the victims are murdered, their bodies are suspended in a certain way. Also aufgehangen, oder? Bloodlust is written in blood and the victim's body is suspended. It's exactly the same as what happened to Chihiro. Save your surprise, the best part is yet to come. For the second characteristic where the victims are suspended, the only ones who knew about that particular fact were members of the police and other high-ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. In other words, no one on the news, no one online, nobody knew about that aspect of each crime. Only key officials and the killer himself knew about his act of mounting the victim. Now, if you recall Chihiro's corpse, her body was most certainly mounted in this fashion. So how could the killer have known about suspending the victim?
That's right.
That's the key question. But in fact, the answer is quite simple.
So in other words,
the culprit isn't a copycat killer, it's the real Genocide Jack.
in other words,
That's right, there is the evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the rest of us. Then Genocide Jack really is. Such a brutal, fiendish killer really is walking around among us?
interesting.
Things are really starting to get interesting, aren't they? I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would ever become part of our little game. Now, don't you think it would be good for you to take a look at what I've already seen? You might just manage to ferret out a clue or two.
Such ignorance.
If you get down on your knees and beg, I might even show you myself. They reveal the ones with real power, the secret council controlling everything from the shadows. They detail all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous proof for a commoner. Are you going to look? For now, I think I'd rather not.
That's right.
That's a report on a presidential assassination. The original is kept at the National Library. It won't be declassified for another 30 years, so I sure want to look at it now. There's no telling whose crosshairs you might wind up in for peeking at it. This is 100 thick files. All those files, there are investigation reports related to different cold cases. Those are internal. They're filled with, yeah. It's the kind of thing, and you know, okay. Ja, dann muss ich mit ihm halt reden. Yeah, okay, yeah, about the Genocide Jack case file. Could you let me see
That's
it?
fine.
Well, he didn't back. But I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in here, but you can't take it with you. Byakuya handed me the file and I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly my hand stopped. I had reached a page where photos from the scene of each crime had all been collected. Ah, die Scheren fehlen aber. These names of Genocide Jack's victims ran on for several pages. Ken Harada, 32. Tetsuhiro Honda, 17. Shoshi Gaku, 23. Kano Isai, 14. Takeshi Yoshida, 30. Komatsuna Taro, Takefumi Gono, Oshida Naoisa, Takeshi Masamune, Yuto Yomeshima. There was no end to it. But one thing became perfectly clear as I read. All of the killer's countless victims were killed and suspended exactly the same way. And at the scene of every murder, the word bloodlust was left in the victim's own blood. Now take a look at the next page and you'll find another interesting tidbit. The next page. Profiling results. All of the crimes took place either on weekdays, at night, or during holidays, either day or night. The most common time for the killings to take place was on holidays in the afternoon. Based on these facts, it could be suggested that the suspect may be a student. Evidence suggests that the suspect lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in a panic. Because an eyewitness has never come forward, It's unlikely there was an external reason for this. His confused behavior suggests that the suspect may potentially suffer from dissociative identity disorder.
So in other words,
In other words muss ich jetzt die Folge beenden, dann sehen wir uns hier beim nächsten Mal bei Danganronpa und ciao.